And the following is a paid broadcast from Talk Radio 590 KSUB. I look over my right shoulder, and I see my friend Threesa Cummings from the Kimber Academy, God, Family, Country. Did I even get the right order this time?
You did. You got it right.
See? Old dogs, new tricks.
That's pretty good.
How you doing, Threesa? It's good to have you here.
We are doing great. Absolutely great. Good to be here.
You brought some friends with you today. I know we got a lot to talk about.
I did bring a friend today. Her name is Jenny, and she is a friend. And we met last year, a couple months ago, so August time. They came over to the academy, and she is a director for theater programs.
Really?
And we started talking, and we talked about our modesty standard at the academy, and she called me, she says, I think we're supposed to work together.
Yes, I did.
And that started things. So I would just love it, Jenny, if you would just explain to people what we're doing with this theater class.
I would love to. My name is Jenny Hatch, and I'm the musical theater director at the Kimber Academy. Our website is www.zioncpa.com for those of you who'd like more information. This winter season, we are going to be putting on the production A Year with Frog and Toad Kids, and we invite K through 12 students to come audition on January 1st, 2015, about 2 weeks from today, to an open cattle call audition at the school. We would love to work with your students. We are so excited about doing this show. We used the same show as our encore presentation when we had our fall class. We only had 9 students, but we put together a really great show, and we'd love to expand the cast with our homeschool students, and we'd like to invite community students to come join in.
Yes, exactly. When she approached me with this, we met together and we're having dinner, and she said, well, I want to do it a little different this time. I want to have a Friday program for the homeschool students and a Saturday program for those who can't come on a Friday. And the setup of this class is a little different. Most people, if they've been involved in theater, know that you go and you audition and then you give your life to it for 6 weeks.
I do know that.
And we thought, well, that doesn't really fit in with our focus on family and being able to return time to families. And when she approached me, she said, well, I think that this can be done with a weekly class. So they meet once a week for 3 hours.
That's an interesting proposition.
Yes, and it worked.
How did you come up with that plan?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a mother of 5 children.
Okay.
My kids are older, and I was a frustrated mother of 5 children because I was a musical theater enthusiast, but my kids did not want to give their whole life away to be in a show.
And let me just say, when you say mother 5 children, I think automatically you attach the word frustrated.
Well, the bottom line is none of my 5 children have become theater enthusiasts. They have been in shows, but they've been much more into their sports and other interests, and that's frustrated me. And one of the big frustrations came with the rehearsal schedule. For example, my 12-year-old was going to audition for Playmakers last year. I prepared him for the audition. The day before, he said, now tell me again how much I have to rehearse. And I said, oh, every day for the next few weeks. And he said, I'm not even going to audition. I'm not giving up soccer and my social life, et cetera, so I can be in a show. And that was so frustrating to me because I wanted him to be in that show so badly. And so that was part of why I came up with this intensive format where we have a rock-solid 3-hour rehearsal once a week.
Now, okay, back from my very minuscule opportunities to be in theater, high school and others, how do you get kids, because what we learned one night I would have forgotten by the next night. How do you get them to go a whole week and still retain?
Well, I give them homework. They're supposed to be memorized very early on in the process. And so hopefully they're at home working with the CD. I give them a couple of the songs. And then, amazingly enough, these 9 children who did Frog and Toad last fall, they were fully memorized by the night of the show. And we only had 6 rehearsals.
Right. It was really amazing to me. But the idea being that a professional in a show doesn't give 6 nights a week. They come in to a rehearsal prepared. They've memorized what they need to memorize. They are prepared with their dances and all the other things that need to be done. And one of the things that Jenny does when she pulls these kids together for that 3 hours, there's no downtime. They aren't sitting in a corner not sure what to do next or kind of bored and twiddling their thumbs. For that full 3-hour class, they are involved in what's happening. So they are learning and learning and learning, and they go home and they're excited. In fact, I have to admit I got a little tired of the CD by the time the show came.
No.
Because every time we got in the car, yeah, a little bit will get a little toad is gonna get a little of me. So just like but you know they knew their stuff, and even my 6-year-old who wasn't in the show had everything memorized because she heard it so much in our car as we were around the house. The kids were dancing through the living room. So it isn't as if they aren't practicing during the week, but it's on their time with their desire. It's the same idea and approach that we have with the academy, where we don't assign homework, but we hope that they love what they're doing so much that they go home and work more. And this is exactly what I watched happen as my own children participated with this production in the fall. So it is a model that works. We've done it. So we're excited for this.
And if one of your kids, you would have been able to fill in for them, you'd already memorized it too?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, you didn't have to, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got to watch, which was nice.
I have a ton of experience directing. And one of the things I've learned is that just about everybody can sing. Lots of children know how to do a little bit of acting or memorize a monologue. But where children are generally very weak is with their dance. And so we spend a considerable amount of time in the class learning dance. I teach basic ballroom, a little bit of folk, and then the actual choreography for the show. And I've come up with several really fun interactive games that the children, that was their favorite part. Do we get to dance again? Do we get to dance?
Oh, yeah.
And they love playing these dance games. And I use them to teach dance etiquette, teach the boys how to ask a girl to dance. And then it's just so fun watching them play these games. They love it. And so a big part of the class is dance, at least an hour of the 3 hours. Then we run the show music, and then we spend a considerable amount of time working on music theory, and we also do some ear training so that they are actually learning the skills of musical theater. If you're going to be a serious musical theater performer, you need to read music. So we do spend time on music theory.
Right. So it was just a really good all-around experience for all of the students involved. So we're hoping to expand that this time. Will you explain a little bit about Audition Day, Jenny?
Audition Day is going to be really interesting, and we chose January 1st knowing that a lot of families are not partying out all night long the night before. And so we hope that you will come join us at the Academy at 9 a.m. We are doing an open cattle call audition. There will be an entry fee of $5 per student to come audition. We expect them to have a 16-bar a cappella song of any choice that's memorized and ready to go. Come audition with that. From that, we are going to pick 80 students to come back later that day at 4 o'clock and do a triple threat audition, which means the child will be given a chance to sing 32 bars of a Broadway-style song. They will be expected to share a 1-minute monologue, and then we will teach them some choreography from the show, and they'll do a little bit of dancing. I don't want children to feel intimidated by the dance audition, though. If they don't have any dance experience, that's okay. We're going to keep it very, very simple. But they will have a triple threat audition, and then we will cast the show, and the next week, about 10 days after the audition day, we will start with our rehearsals. Again, if you'll go to zioncpa.com, you can download a flyer that has all of the information on it that you can get the rehearsal schedule, find out what's going on, see how much tuition costs. There is a $200 tuition fee per student. And then we have a costume that we expect the parents to invest in that keeps everything nice and modest. And all of the information about that is on our website.
Yeah, the modesty was a big issue. It's if you've been in theater, you know that is traditionally a problem. And so we have, as Jenny was describing to me what she wanted to do, she had a base costume that was very modest, that then whatever they do costume-wise goes over the top. There's never a need for a child to be undressing anywhere at any time.
That's the thing. When you bring your child to the show, to the actual performance, they're dressed. So there is literally no undressing in front of their peers, which is a big issue for young children. They don't want to get undressed in front of other people in a dressing room. So your child is dressed, and then we just put a few simple costume elements on to depict the character. The focus of the show, though, is not in the costuming, it's not in the scenery. The focus is on the music and teaching these children to be wonderful triple threat performers, music, dance, and acting.
Exactly. So we think it's a great program, and we've seen it work, and we are excited to do it again and to continue this program through the year. Well, we've already started talking about, well, let's do summer camp. What should we do?
Yeah, and a spring show too.
Yeah, spring show, summer camp. This is something that I think we will be able to do ongoing to meet a need, I think, that's out there for families who want to be able to have this experience without having it take over their lives, and to be able to have a comfortable place where they feel safe sending their children.
It sounds wonderful. I know we've got some other things to cover. I have a question, because I know in our experiences, Threesa, how much the Kimber Academy, how would you respond if someone said, well, we want them to learn the reading and writing and arithmetic and what do we need the arts for?
What do you think they're doing when they're reading their script?
Well, I understand that, but I mean, you know, if someone had a concern, how would you?
Well, this is an elective course. This is not run during our core curriculum time. This is an elective course that any student can come and take. They do not have to be students at the Kimber Academy. This is something people can do in their time off of school. So they get their reading, writing, arithmetic. That's in the Founding Fathers' model for the school. The bare basics are what need to be taught. They need to know reading, they need to know writing, they need to know their math and their science and their history, and they need to understand their relationship with God. And so we have religious studies. Those are all covered in our core. Those are the things that we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to noon.
Right.
This gives them another opportunity to expand their gifts and their talents, the things that they were blessed with, sent with, that they probably have to do something with in their lives. This helps them to expand those gifts and talents.
All right. I'm still more than intrigued by the 3-hour once a week rehearsal time, which actually sounds like it's not more than just rehearsal. It's rehearsal and class and learning experience.
It is. It's a class.
I think that's great. When will the performances be again? I know
We are only doing one show, and again, that is mom friendly. Literally one show, February 21st, 2015, in our brand new theater at the school.
Well, wait. Excuse me. What? And then what?
Yes. So exciting. We just have felt very strongly that we need to expand a little bit the space that we are using there, and so we've gone back, and a little farther back there's a larger room, and we're going to build just a moderate-sized stage in the front of that room. So it makes it a room that is perfect for someone to come in who wants to do a small theater production, to have a presentation, a convention of some kind, a family reunion, anything. So this is a room that we're building out. We'll have a lovely entry hall as people come in.
Are you taking over the whole hospital?
Just that wing. Just that wing.
For now, right?
For now.
All right. I'm waiting for the rest.
Yeah, so we just have felt like this is a need for, not just for the academy, but for the community, just a moderate place where people can meet, and whatever kind of meeting they need to have, it's available for. If you wanted to host a dance, a wedding reception. I know my daughter got married last year. She said, Mom, I don't want to have my reception in the gym with the basketball hoop. And I said, this is what you can afford.
Yeah. Yeah, your budget, hoop included.
Yeah. But it will be a nice space that will be affordable for people to come in and rent for an evening or a day or a couple of days. We have a cute couple that's having their 50th wedding anniversary this coming February, and they've already called and said, can we use your space? And we said, absolutely, please come and share your 50th wedding anniversary here at the Freedom Plaza.
Okay, one last question, and this is the geek in me. In high school, I was involved in every play that was done.
Oh, me too.
From the time I was freshman all the way through senior. I was in 2 shows. But I literally did the lighting for every show, even the 2 that I was in.
And you're hired.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. In the new facilities, we have students have the opportunity, we have some facilities where they can learn some basic lighting principles and things of that nature.
Absolutely. Not everyone who comes and wants to be a part of a show wants to be in the show. Yeah, just like you're describing, your hands high up in the air there. Some want to be around the performance and those elements, but have no desire to be on the stage.
Yes, and you do not have to audition if you want to be part of our crew. You do need to pay the $200 tuition fee because you're going to be learning during those 3 hours.
Right.
But we do invite students who just want to do backstage crew work or lights or sound to come join our group.
Okay, that's very cool. See, believe it or not, I got into broadcast radio specifically, not to do this, but to do this.
Yeah, you wanted to run the
That's
soundboard,
what I really wanted to do.
and you ended up with a microphone in
Well,
your face.
sadly, the smaller stations I worked at, to do that, you had to do this,
You had
so.
to do both. That's
so-
right.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been involved in homeschooling support groups for 20 years, and the number one thing that parents want their children to be involved in is musical theater.
Interesting.
That's the one thing as a homeschooler that is almost impossible to replicate. And quite often in the support group, you don't really have parents who are trained to do it on the level that maybe you want for your family. And so that's where we really see ourselves filling in the gap, is come on out to the Kimber Academy and see what we're doing in musical theater. It will be worth your time and your money.
All right, Jenny, so in your wildest dreams, what is your dream production to do with your one show?
Oh, it's going to be the student version of Les Miserables, and we are going to do it sooner than later. As soon as I feel like we've got the talent to do it, we're going to do it.
Wow.
Really? Okay.
That's big.
I'm about to, I have to speak honestly, right? Hated Les Mis.
Oh, it's my favorite show. And there's a fabulous student version that's been designed for high school age students.
And I'm sure it's wonderful.
It is.
Let me recant part of it. For what it is, I think it's a fine production. But you cannot do justice to that story that Hugo wrote in 3 hours. You just can't.
Well, the student version really downplays the dark sides of the story, the prostitution and all the death. And so it's a gentler version that has all of the great music. And when they made this student version, they designed it for these future actors who will be playing it all over the world.
Again, I think it's a wonderful show. To me, the music is the distraction. In the first 50 pages of the book, because I actually saw the production first, I'd heard actually a radio adaptation, loved the story, and then saw the play and the movie, and then read the book. In the first 50 pages, I knew much more about John Valjean than you did in the entire. But that's just me.
Well, it's
It's
totally,
it's such a
totally
lo-
presumptuous
Yeah.
to try and make any
Yeah.
kind of work of art off of a great work of literature.
It's the same thing with The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. They were great movies as far as they went, but you still missed a lot.
Agreed,
Oh,
agreed.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's still my favorite show,
And
and
Okay.
we are going to do it.
All right, ladies, and it's a great show. No, I'm the first to admit, I know it's one of the most well done and popular shows. And like I said, I've gotten so hooked on the story. I went back and go, you didn't get this, and you didn't get this, and you didn't get this.
Well, I heard the French version of that show was 5 hours long.
And I'm not even sure that would do justice.
Well, they tried.
I mean, the book, well, Atlas Shrugged is coming out in 3 movies, and they haven't done justice to that either.
Yeah, right. That's my favorite book. How'd you know to bring that in?
Atlas Shrugged, it's a great book.
Read it 11 times.
Oh my goodness, I did it once, it was good once.
Well, you don't like the 20-year dissertation by John Gall? or
Yeah, the
what?
200 pages of him
Well,
pontificating on objectivism.
I loved it, but during that I go, John, take a breath. So,
dear.
all right. So, and anyway, and I would never tell anyone not go see this. I mean, I went to, we bought the DVD when the movie came out, and we watched it. It's a great story, and I think it certainly, from someone who's in theater, it will push you because it is a demanding
Well,
story.
inevitably, the students who perform it some of them are going to go read that book. And if only that happens from us producing that show,
Win.
it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely win. All right, Threesa,
Yes.
I'll